everyone, Kaylee here. So I mentioned in my last video that I wanted to do videos telling you guys about like my mini goals to help me get to my New Year's resolutions, because I do really want to achieve my New Year's resolutions this year. I think they're the exact same ones that I had the year before, and I really just want to accomplish them this year. So what I'm doing is I'm breaking them down into easy to do little tiny goals and working on those until I have those accomplished, and then building on them and doing more. And in my past experience when I did this to lose weight, and I can link that video in the down bar if you want to hear about that, what I did, it took me about 3 weeks for each of those goals, so I'm assuming it'll be about the same thing here. So I have about like 6 to 8 little mini goals before the end of the year, so that's what I'm going to be working on. It's basically just a way to break down my yearly goals into small doable goals, which is a great thing that you can do from like a 1-year goal to a 1-month goal to a 5-year goal to a career goal. Everything that you have in your brain that you want to do, you can break down into small little pieces that you can work on every single day, so that every day you're working to accomplish something. And I think that just gives such a great sense of purpose and also a lot of focus, and helps you to be more driven and actually accomplish more things. I encourage you guys, if you have any goals that you are working on, definitely leave them in the comments. Let me know what your baby step is going to be and what your goal is going to be, and we can go through this together. I'm going to be reading them, and I just think it would be a really cool community thing. This is definitely something that I would do even if I wasn't doing it on the internet or doing it for the internet, but a lot of you guys asked for me to do a video on it, so here it is. Before I get into that, I was gone from my main channel for almost a month, and so I thought I should address why that was. I have 2 reasons. The first one I'm going to address now, the second one will be at the end of the video, just because it has to deal with one of my resolutions. But basically what happened is that it is prom and wedding season. So from like April through the end of June, every single weekend I have a thing. It's either prom or, I mean, prom's done now, but it was either prom or a wedding or both. And I've had to travel for some of those weddings, and I've had to do trial runs during the week, and I'm doing all of that in addition to my work at the salon. And so it's just been a lot, and honestly, if I had realized how much it was going to be and how much work was going to be involved in all of that, I would have like pre-recorded and set out a very distinct plan of how I would accomplish all this and be able to still make videos. And because I didn't realize how crazy it was going to be, I got into like the middle of it and I realized I'm like 3 steps behind and I didn't know what to do. And so that's the first reason why I kind of disappeared for a little while. It's not an excuse. As a YouTuber, as somebody that knows this is my job, I should have anticipated that and worked on that, and you know, made sure that I was still making videos through that crazy time anyway. And so I apologize to you guys for failing to do my job properly, and I hope that you guys will kind of bear with me as I get back into doing things, because it is still wedding season, but I am determined to keep making videos. And now on to the baby steps. So I had 4 resolutions that I mentioned in my New Year's resolutions video, and I actually had a 5th one that I forgot to mention, which was time management. I really wanted to become proficient and efficient in time management. I don't know how. I failed to get that into the video. So my first goal was to become more fit in the new year. Now, that's kind of a vague goal, so I decided to create something a little bit more hardcore, a little bit more concrete. And I really want to get to where I'm working out for an hour, 5 days a week. I'm gonna have to push for that one, because it's the middle of the year already and I still have, you know, I have 6 months to get there, but I totally think I can do that. And it's not just about, like, obviously I could start working out for an hour 5 days a week now, but the thing is, I think it's good to have those gradual steps into it so that it becomes part of your lifestyle and it's incorporated into what you do, especially if you have a busy lifestyle like I do. It's just good to kind of ease into things that way. To achieve that, my first mini goal is to work out for 30 minutes 3 days a week. And specifically, I'm going to be doing the Couch to 5K program, which basically just helps you to get into running from like not running to being able to run a 5K. And then if I feel like being extra fancy, I'll add in an extra workout, but that's minimum 3 days a week for 30 minutes. My next goal was to overhaul my YouTube channel, and what I'm going to do for that this week is to spend 2 hours somewhere in the week. It can be like 30 minutes over 4 days, or it can be 2 hours on one day, whatever, brainstorming on what I can do with my YouTube channel. And that can be anything from coming up with video ideas to coming up with a really creative way to execute those ideas. And that is kind of a big step to have 2 hours in 1 week, but I already spend close to that planning YouTube stuff. It's just not as actively like I am going to think about this right now. So I think that if I just turn the time that I'm already spending into more productive and focused time, it would be a little bit better for me. So that is the first thing that I will be doing, my first little baby step towards that goal. My other goal was to read 30 minutes a day. Now that is obviously something that I could just start doing right now and it probably wouldn't be too big, but because I have those other 4 goals that I'm working on and I'm already trying to work out and I'm already going to spend 2 hours a week planning YouTube stuff, I think it would be better to kind of ease into that as well. this one's going to be a lot easier to do than the other ones. But what I'm going to do this week is to read, or for this mini goal, is to read 10 minutes a day for 5 days a week. That's all. So it should be really easy. I honestly, 10 minutes is enough to really get me into a story or into whatever I'm reading, so I'll probably spend the 30 minutes, but I'm just like setting myself up for success by giving myself a little bit of a smaller goal. So that is my mini goal for my larger goal of being able to read 30 minutes a day. Alright, so the fourth one is time management, and the goal of time management is basically to de-stress. It's to declutter your mind, because your mind works very much like a computer, and if you have a million programs open on your computer, it slows your computer down and it makes it glitchy. That's the exact same thing when you have tons of things going on in your brain, like, oh, I need to do that, oh, these are all the things that I have to do tomorrow, oh, I needed to do that yesterday. It slows down your ability to process information, but it also makes it glitchy in that you will forget things. So it's good to get all of that craziness out of your head and into a coherent, organized system. And it's not necessarily about scheduling your life, it's more about organizing your life. So what I decided to do for this one is to work on those things that have to be done every week no matter what. So chores, basically. So cleaning and dishes and laundry and all of that kind of stuff, because a lot of times when I get crazy busy, that stuff falls by the wayside, and I don't want that to happen because I'm a grown woman. I do not need to have a messy house. So I'm working on it, and what I decided to do is basically split up my chores into specific days. So I know that each day this is what's supposed to be getting done that day, and that way it helps me just to kind of get into a rut, almost a little bit of a schedule that my body just naturally kind of knows. So I know that, okay, I wake up on Thursday, I need to go clean the bathrooms, or I wake up on a Monday and I'm like, okay, I need to go grocery shopping and clean out the kitchen and clean out the fridge and, you know, stuff like that. So I think that would be really helpful. So this is actually, I think, my biggest step that I'm taking as far as a time commitment. I have made a little like chore schedule, and I'm going to be, my mini goal is to do each of the chores every single day, every single week. So like no skippies or anything like that. Really big time commitment. And I wonder if it's a little bit too big, but I'd rather just go ahead and jump in on this one, because it's something that I really want for myself and for my husband, is just to have a really nice, clean house, because we both have such stressful lives. I think that would just add a little bit of peace to it. So that is going to be my goal for time management, is to accomplish my chore schedule every single week. I've gone in and out of regretting the fact that I decided to do this one on YouTube, but it's okay, we're gonna do this. And it is to come out of my shell a little bit, to be more open, to put myself out there a little bit more. And I was actually thinking about this because whenever I was going through and trying to figure out what my mini goals were going to be a couple weeks ago, I was like, I really do not want to work on this one. Like, I was trying to figure out any way that I could to not work on the whole coming out of my shell thing. And I was like, but why? Because that's not like me. It's not like me to look at myself and see something that needs to be fixed and then choose not to fix it. So I was really looking at it and like really kind of analyzing myself and trying to figure out what was going on. And I realized that my problem isn't necessarily that I don't want to put myself out there. My problem is in the way that I view myself, and I don't want to change that. And it's basically, when I look at myself, I can't believe I'm going to admit this on the internet. Hopefully this helps somebody. But whenever I look at myself, I really truly believe that I'm a failure until proven otherwise, and I can't prove to myself otherwise. So I basically look at myself and I see all of the bad things, and I only see anything where I failed, anything where I've not accomplished what I wanted to accomplish, any way that I haven't gone as far as I wanted to, and it finds its expression in the whole, you know, wanting to put myself out there thing, and the fact that I don't think that people would want to be friends with me because I kind of think I suck. So I don't want to put the effort out there to make a friend because they're not going to be my friend because I'm, you know, not really worthy of having a friend. And that's, honestly, it sounds so silly when I voice it, but it's really what's happening deep down. And I realized that that's actually defined so much of my life because it's caused a lot of the problems that I've gone through, like eating disorders and depression and self-injury, like all that kind of stuff was out of me looking at myself and genuinely thinking that I was unlovable or not worthwhile or anything like that. And so I realized it's about time for me to change that because it has defined so much of my life. And that's actually the second reason why I randomly disappeared from YouTube. I mean, I was crazy busy, so I think that had the most to do with it, but I was also just dealing with all of that, like the weight of the fact that I was just starting to look at where I was going with my life and like 5 years out, where do I want to be? And looking at like that 5-year goal and being like, seeing all the steps that I would need to take to get there, and it just terrifying me, like just thinking like I can't do that, I'm not enough. And I think doing that and having that happen to me made me turn all of that inward and just be like, I am never going to be able to do this. I can't make a video that people will like. I can't keep creating content that people will keep coming back to. I am not talented enough. I'm not funny enough. I just like all of these things I kept like telling myself. And I don't even know. I have no idea where it came from or why it was so oppressive, but really for like a couple weeks, like 4 to 6 weeks, it just like ate me, like ate at my soul, and it was so tough. My mini goal for all of that is going to be very sensitive to how I react when people tell me things about myself. Basically, when somebody gives me a compliment, I'm going to make sure that I take it, that I listen to it, that I actually let it sink in, that I actually believe it. And if somebody tells me something negative about myself, instead of taking it and beating myself up with it, which I usually do, I'm just gonna kind of take the good. I remember somebody said to me once that you should take criticism professionally, never personally. And I think that's probably what I'm going to be working on. If somebody has something negative to say about what I do or, you know, any of that, that I would take it in the sense that I take the good part of it, the part that can help me to grow, and then I don't respond in a way that's negative, in a way that's like harmful to myself. And I think through doing that, that's going to help to change my focus and shift my focus first. That's my first goal. So I'm basically just going to be very, very careful about how I respond to what people say about me, that I'm consciously accepting compliments now, and I'm not beating myself up with negative things. That's going to be my first step, and hopefully that's going to help me to kind of get through that. So, gosh guys, I hope that wasn't too personal for you, and I hope this has been helpful in some way, and definitely remember to leave in the comments if you have anything that you're going to be working on, what your goal is, and what your mini goal is, and I'll see you later. Mwah!